Group projects. We've all had to do them at least once before, but I think it's safe to say that working with other people isn't always easy. And sometimes I can only be so patient. Now for 2 years, I worked at this place where we had to make graphics and edit videos, mostly the former. At this job, there were 5 other people that I had to work with, and as the title suggests, there were 2 that I just could not stand to be around. I'm not going to use their real names, so let's just call them Bob and Dan. Let's start with Bob. I think the best way to describe Bob would be, let's just say socially oblivious. He would often say and do a lot of questionable things that would just make people shake their heads. He also had a habit of randomly barging into conversations and then say things that had absolutely nothing to do with said conversation. Mostly he would just do general things that bothered me, but nothing too major. But the same can't be said about Dan. First off, Dan had no respect for personal space. Whenever he would sit next to me, which was quite often by the way, he would always sit way too close. But TD, why didn't you just tell him off or something? I did, but he would never listen. It later just got to the point where I'd just move somewhere else if he tried to sit with me. Okay, now to set things up here, remember at the beginning of the video when I mentioned group projects? Well, 5 of us were working on resources for an app, and I was in charge of making the interface. Now this one time, I wasn't having a great day, so I was already a little pissed. But, you know, it's work, you gotta be professional, so I was trying to keep it in until I got off for the day. Anyways, I was working on some buttons and backgrounds for the app, and I was super focused on trying to get most of it done before lunch. So about 10 minutes before lunch, Dan is basically sitting on top of me and keeps trying to talk to me about some shit I didn't care about, even though he could clearly see that I was busy. Now this went on for a while and I just wasn't having it. In my head I was just like, what the fuck? No, I'm not gonna get mad. Hey TD. Haha, okay, joke's over. It's not what happened. I didn't blow up on him. Was about to though. But seriously, even outside of work I wasn't safe from this, because he took the same train I did to go home. Thankfully Dan got off before I did, but to this day, whenever I get to that station, I'm always looking around to see if he's there. So what's the moral of this story? If you can't fix a problem, just bitch about it online.